How's it coming, dog?
God, just listen to this kid's report on Great Expectations. Miss Havisham should have throwed that cake out so it don't mess all up de bitch's house.
Okay, sure, some copy needs more editing than others, but I can tell you this for sure. Great copy always comes with great editing. And editing may sound like a drag, but I'm going to give you 3 super simple tips that you can use today to edit any piece of copy from blah, blah, not gonna work to super profitable copy, and you can do it in about 5 minutes. I'm John Benson, and this is Sales Copy Secrets. Welcome back, and this is 3 copy editing secrets that can turn your copy from blah, blah, copy to cash cow copy. And you can do it in as little as 5 minutes. It might take you longer if it's a sales page or something like this, but hey, this will turn your bitch-ass copy into kick-ass copy, and that's what we all want. Okay, so let me get started by saying this. If you are a copywriter, you're looking for copywriting tips, looking for copywriting techniques, or if you're an online marketer selling anything online using words, this is for you. And you really need to watch this video all the way to the end, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it helps the channel grow, and I am very gracious for your help in that. Second of all, I saved the most important tip, or at least the coolest tip, I think, for last. And it's one that if you screw up, you're gonna, the other 2 tips aren't gonna help you that much. So definitely watch this all the way to the end, okay? Let's dive into the training. Tip number 1 is to turn commas into periods. What do I mean by that? Well, commas in sales copy are rarely needed. I call them speed bumps along with several other copywriters I know because they slow down the pace at which your customer or prospect can read and ingest your copy. Now, we're not in the grammar business, folks. We're in the selling business, the copy selling business. So you need to make the copy as streamlined as humanly possible. You need to make it fast to read, easy to read, and a lot of that is going to involve throwing out the rules of grammar into yesterday's garbage along with that sushi that you should have never eaten. You knew better than that. Just remember this phrase. Great copy is rooted in how effortlessly and quickly it can be read. So let's look at a couple ways you can turn your commas into periods and give you some examples on how I'm doing it. Cool? Let's go. So let's take a look at this first sentence here. If you really want to lose all that weight, pack on more muscle mass, and increase your energy naturally and throughout the day, you need to consider a healthy diet. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, that's not good copy. Okay, but we're going to turn it into good copy, using these editing tips, okay? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to prove this to you, but for now, this is going to work. We see a lot of commas in there, right? So the very first thing you think I'm going to do is to just replace the comma with a period. Nah, I'm going to replace them with 3 periods, actually called an ellipses. You probably know that. But check this out. See how much easier it is to read. And most importantly, see how every point is accentuated now that I just replaced the comma with an ellipses. Look at this. If you really want to lose all that weight, pack on more muscle mass, and increase your energy naturally throughout the day, you really need to consider a healthy diet. Okay, so right there, just all commas gone, ellipses in place. Now, we're going to get to the editing of the words in a moment, so don't freak out. But let's look at another way to do this, and that's actually with periods, actually 1 period. And this is a technique that dates back to the days of print ads. Back in the days of print ads, and I'm talking about print ads back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, you'd see these ads, and especially in the 50s and 60s, by the way, in the Mad Men era of ads, you would see these ads with 1 and 2 word sentences. And the reason why is because a lot of ads had to fit inside 3 columns. And so they had very narrow space to work with, and they developed this very punctuated, very punchy as well way of writing that creates a very cool effect in the mind. Really helps you hone in on each point. I'm going to read that sentence now with periods. Check this out. You want to lose all that weight. Pack on more muscle mass. Increase your energy throughout the day. So you need to consider a healthy diet. That's simple. Okay, now here's another thing you can do with the periods that's really groovy, and that is pull them out into separate sentences. Again, just write down the page because short sentences are super easy to read. So now it reads, you want to lose all that weight. Pack on more muscle mass. Increase your energy throughout the day. So you need to consider a healthy diet in 4 paragraphs with 1 sentence each. I do this all the time. Okay, so that's one way you can use periods to make copy much more punchy, much more easy for the customer to read, much more easy for them to grasp the ideas. But let's look at a sentence now that you may look at first and go, well, there's no way you can make that into, you can't take the commas out of that. That would be grammatically horrible. That's like, genocide on grammar. Well, okay, here we go. Check this out. This product is perfect if you enjoy kickboxing, music, fitness, training, poetry, scuba diving, or frogs. I will say that all but one of those are an interest of mine. Yeah. You can figure out which one doesn't belong. Comment below, let me know. I'll tell you if you're right. So now all I'm going to do is replace the periods with ellipses. Super easy. This product is perfect if you enjoy kickboxing, music, fitness training, poetry, scuba diving, or frogs. But check this out. This product is perfect if you enjoy kickboxing, music, fitness training, poetry, scuba diving, or frogs, all with ellipses, all as individual paragraphs. Yeah, it becomes really easy to read now. All of those just jump out at you because I pulled them out. I used ellipses. I used the power of the period, baby. You can too. Okay, check this out. One last example, and this one I will guarantee you will look at it first and say that will never work, and that is this example. It's going to be right below me. Check this out. The Fat Demolisher was invented April 1st, 2017 in Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, all those commas, check them out. Okay, April 1st, comma, 2017, comma, in Lincoln, comma, Nebraska. Okay, now you might make an argument for getting rid of the comma between 2017 and the word in, but Lincoln, comma, Nebraska is how you say Lincoln, Nebraska. But check this out. I'm going to completely fudge over the rules of grammar and throw them out just like they deserve to be thrown out in sales copy. I'm going to remove every single comma. Watch this. The Fat Demolisher was invented April 1st, 2017 in Lincoln, Nebraska. And guess what? No one's going to care. No one in copy is going to care. Only your 6th grade grammar teacher is going to give a shit that you just did this, but your customers are going to care in the sense that they're going to buy more from you. You've basically sped up the copy, allowed them to read it easier, to get to the points faster, and there's rarely a time where you actually need to use commas. There's a few times that I do use commas, and I know when to use them. It takes some practice to get into the groove of when to use them and when not to use them. There are strategic times to use them, but for the most part, here's what I would like you to do as an exercise. I want you to take the last piece of copy that you wrote or write a new piece of copy. And that could be like a small sales letter or an email series. And I just want you to go through and do nothing but remove every comma and replace every comma with ellipses or with a period. Just get creative. See what you can do. I will wager that 90% of those commas are gone. You'll only have to keep about 10%. And that's if you're really pushing a lot of commas. Now, before we dive into the other 2 tips, let me ask you a question. Have I earned your like? Have I earned your trust? Have I earned your endless admiration? If any of those 3 above are true, do me a favor, pulverize that like button, smash that bell for notifications when my new videos drop, and do me a favor, if you could leave me a comment, I would love it because that helps this channel grow. This channel is on a great trajectory right now, and I'd like to even increase that a little bit more, and it's all thanks to you. I'd really appreciate it if you do that. Now, let's get on with it. Tip number 2 is to get rid of useless words. Seems kind of obvious, right, John? Duh, useless words. But there are more words useless than you may believe. Now, what is a useless word? A useless word is a word that you can remove without changing the meaning or the impact of the sentence. And that second bit, the impact, is super important. Do not ignore that. Meaning and impact are radically different. For example, let's say that I'm going to use the word immediately in the following sentence. Immediately see a difference in your waistline and belly fat. Well, if I remove the word immediately, it doesn't remove the meaning of the sentence, but it completely destroys the impact. And these are what I call impact words, obviously enough, right? Impact words are words that create greater impact in a sentence, but the whole idea behind that sentence is that you will immediately see something. So not all words that seemingly can be removed or seemingly meaningless are meaningless. Be very careful with those impact words, cool? So what I want to do is pull back in our first copy example that I gave you, the one that I said was definitely bad copy, and let's look at all the useless words we can remove. And maybe even put in a few impact words while we go along. Cool? Let's go. Okay, so that first sentence read again, if you really want to lose all that weight, pack on more muscle mass, and increase your energy naturally and throughout the day, you need to consider a healthy diet. I have to take breaths just to read that damn thing. Okay, it's pretty wordy. But now check this out. What I'm going to do, I'm going to trim the useless words. Check it out. If you want to lose weight, pack on muscle, increase energy all day, you need a healthy diet. Okay, that says exactly the same thing as the original sentence said. Did not lose any of the meaning. Did not remove any impact words at all. And guess what? That took it from 30 words, a 30-word count, down to 18 words. That's almost in half. Can you imagine if you had a 5,000-word sales letter and you edited it like this, it'd get down to 3,000 words. I mean, that's if you're writing a lot of superfluous words like I did here on purpose. You probably aren't going to write that many, but this is what you should do on every single sentence. Now, this is obviously going to take you longer than 5 minutes. The comma trick will take you 5 minutes. This will take you a little bit longer, but it's such good practice for you to do. So not only do I have shorter copy, I have copy that is far more punchy, far more impactful than the copy was prior. And I could combine this with tip number 3, which is to turn statements into questions. If I'm so savvy and cool, and I am, and handsome, and modest. Now I'll show you how to turn statements into questions in just a second, but let me parenthetically say this first. Not every statement should be a question. I mean, if you wrote your whole sales letter or whole email around questions, it would probably get a little redundant for the reader, and we don't want that to happen. However, what I want you to do is judiciously do this. Use common sense and use your own taste, but the reason why you want to change statements into questions sometimes is simple. Questions not only engage the reader as opposed to statements, which are neutral at best, they can direct the reader to say yes dozens, even hundreds of times. And this triggers what I call the yes reflex. The more often and easily the reader says yes, the more likely they are to buy from you when you present your offer. And what's really cool, it's super easy to do. Let's look at our clunky copy example from the first example and watch what I do with questions. If you really want to lose all that weight, pack on more muscle mass, and increase your energy naturally throughout the day, you really need to consider a healthy diet. Now, I threw in the word really just because I'm in the vein of doing lots of words, lots of meaningless words. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a combination of the two techniques. I'm going to remove the useless words, and I'm going to turn statements into questions. Check this out. Want to lose weight? Add toned muscle? Increase energy all day? Then you need a healthy diet. That's not bad, is it? But look what I did. Not only did I add a few impact words in very key places, and I'll explain that in a moment, I actually reduced the word count from 18 in the previous example to 17. I'm one word less, and that's with the inclusion of an impact word. So here's what I did. Want to lose weight? Add toned muscle. Now, to people in the fitness industry, add toned muscle makes no sense, but I understand that that's what my readers want. They want to think in terms of being toned. They don't understand that building muscle and toning muscle, there's no such thing as toning a muscle. That basically what that is building muscle and losing fat. That produces that toned look, but add toned muscle speaks to them. I don't care about it being scientifically accurate. I did it in 3 words, but I included a word that they want to get. Toned. Then I've changed it to increase energy all day. Super easy way to say that, right? 3 questions, and they're going to say yes to all 3 of those questions. So what I have is a customer or a potential customer saying yes, 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 and then I get to the conclusion. So what I'm doing is I'm building a syllogism, okay? That's a rhetorical device. I'm saying statement 1, statement 2, conclusion. Premise 1, premise 2, conclusion is the technical version of that, but that's okay. So statement 1, statement 2, or in this case, question 1, question 2, conclusion. I'm drawing the conclusion for them, okay? If you want this, this, and this, you need to do this, okay? That's exactly what I did in those 4 sentences. And that will hyper engage the reader, get them to saying yes, get them involved in the letter. So they're not just reading, they are a participant in the process. They're not just boring reading stuff, information, like just that's boring reading. Yes, you need to present them with stuff. You need to present them with evidence. You need to present them with data. But guess what? When you ask somebody a question, it engages them in the dialogue. It turns it from a written statement into a dialogue with you, even though you're not there. And that, my friend, can mean more sales. Now listen, if you liked what I had to say here, there is a video underneath this, it's linked that you will absolutely love. And I have one more tip for you. Like, share, sub, and smash that bell for notifications so you can be notified when my new videos drop. I am John Benson, and I am here to help make you unignorable.